smile is like the sun. That rises when all's done. Fly up high, you kite and win. Before you know it, you'll be the other floor. Your sun is like the smile, like a snowmobile tied up around the trees that we have to turn. That rises all the while.
Good evening. Welcome to episode 22 of Niagara Performs. Wow, episode 22. My name is Annie Wilson. I am proud to be your programming supervisor at the First Ontario Performing Arts Centre. And whether you're tuning in on our YouTube page or our Facebook page or watching a rebroadcast through your TV Niagara, we welcome you and we're very happy to have you here with us this evening. One of my favorite things, or I should say my favorite thing about this series, is the opportunity to showcase our amazing community partners at the Performing Arts Centre. And this evening, we're turning the spotlight to the Gallery Players of Niagara, one of Niagara's prominent presenters of classical chamber music, celebrating 25 years as part of our arts community. Normally, the group performs in many of Niagara's churches. They've been to Rodman Hall Arts Centre, the Niagara Artists Centre. They performed with us at the First Ontario Performing Arts Centre. And as we know, circumstances have temporarily changed. So we're happy to welcome them here to be with us this evening. I will now pass it over to Artistic Director Margaret Gay of Gallery Players.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Annie. Lovely that you could all join us this evening. Please forgive me for reading from notes, but I want to make sure I don't forget anything important. First of all, I'd like to thank the First Ontario Performing Arts Centre for making this event possible and for inviting us to join you this evening. The Gallery Players of Niagara is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year, and we're incredibly grateful to the City of St. Catharines and the Performing Arts Centre for all the help we've received over these many, many years. We believe music is enormously important to all of our well-being, and we are completely committed to live performance. That's what we do. As soon as it's safe, we'll be back in our familiar venues. We're busy making plans, and we hope to be able to share these with you very soon. When it is safe, we'll have the help of the Performing Arts Centre to offer performances with properly distanced audiences, as well as a live stream for those of you who'd prefer to enjoy our concerts from your home. The Gallery Players presents chamber music. For us, chamber music has taken on many forms, usually 2 to 10 performers on stage performing classical, folk, or world music, improvising sound scores for silent film, presenting small chamber opera, sometimes inviting guest actors or guest dancers. But tonight we have something new. This will be our first virtual concert. And while the music is not live, and we'll talk about this later, Douglas Miller and Timothy Phelan are here listening with you, and will be introducing their music as we go. During the show, if you have any comments or questions, we would love to hear them. So please send them along in your chat. It's a great way for us all to feel a little more connected. At the end of tonight's program, Doug, Tim, and I will be here to answer your questions. Timothy Phelan, our guitarist and arranger of many of tonight's pieces, is one of the busiest musicians I know. Until COVID-19 hit, he was traveling often to Europe, Mexico, the United States, and China. He is on the faculty at Brock University and makes his home here in St. Catharines. Douglas Miller is the principal flute of the Niagara Symphony, a member of Glissandi, and a founding member of the Gallery Players of Niagara. He performs extensively in the Niagara region and beyond and makes his home in Niagara-on-the-Lake. The first piece you're about to hear is the famous tambourin from François-Joseph Gossec's 1794 opera Le Triomphe de la République, in an arrangement by guitarist Larinda Almeida. Keep in mind that a tambourin is a dance and an ancient French drum.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Tim. So we should talk about how this project came about. Shall I start off?
Please do.
Okay. Tim and I were scheduled to do a concert in June, and when it was canceled, we wondered how we could create a plan B. Discussions with Tim and I revealed that we both had substantial in-home recording gear and software to produce an excellent sound. I had also, for quite a while, wanted to do a recording of Tim's wonderful arrangements. So this was a great opportunity to start talking about that. We talked about repertoire and how it could be done. So the results are 11 video recordings that you're going to hear tonight for the first time. And perhaps I should just give a little synopsis of how it's all put together. Because most video cameras or iPhones have poor audio quality, we had to record the video and audio separately, but simultaneously. In the very last step, the lower quality audio of the video is replaced with higher quality audio through a multi-step process. So the first step is, in all these recordings that you're going to hear, Tim records the audio and video and sends me 2 separate files. I import the files to my recording software, and then I practice while watching the video to memorize Tim's phrasing.
Which I hopefully do in a way that's complementary to the way you interpret things as well.
It was totally natural and very clear. Then I record both my video and audio separately, but simultaneously, along with Tim's audio. The good quality audio is then mixed, balanced, and sweetened with reverb that you're going to hear. The 2 video files are then merged and synced into one video along with the good mixed and balanced audio. Finally, the poor quality audio is removed and deleted. The resulting video is sent back to Tim and he overlays the titles. The whole process takes an entire day for one short 3-minute piece. And the process is further complicated when there are multiple parts to be arranged or in the arrangement. So Tim and I are wearing several hats as musician, recording engineer, and videographer. And there's probably a few other things in there as well. So I think, Tim, do you want to add anything to that? Or
I think that's probably good for now. And then there's going to be opportunity for people to ask questions later on. And, perhaps people want to know a little bit more about the details of that process.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you want to talk about our next recording?
I will do that. We are at this point going to move on to a set of 2 pieces. Now, movie scores often play a vital role in our emotional interaction with a film. And throughout the whole history of film, there have been many composers who have actually cultivated cinematic music as an art form in itself. Just a few days ago, the world was saddened to learn of the passing of one of the giants of cinematic scoring, the great Ennio Morricone. So we pay tribute to his memory this evening with music from 2 of his many memorable film scores. We begin the set with Gabriel's Oboe, which is from Morricone's score for the movie The Mission. And we will follow it up with a tune from the soundtrack for Cinema Paradiso. For this film, Ennio collaborated with his son Andrea, and it was actually Andrea who composed the love theme that you will hear. So over to Rob to play the next music.
And we're back. So the next two pieces that we're going to play are by Argentinian composer Astor Piazzolla. He lived from 1921 to 1992, and the two pieces are from a suite called L'Histoire du Tango. And after encouragement from his composition teacher in Paris, Piazzolla pursued a lifelong calling to revolutionize and elevate the traditional tango into a musical art form. Over his lifetime, the name Piazzolla has become synonymous with the tango. Written in 1985, L'Histoire du Tango is a reflection of this evolution, spanning almost 90 years. Piazzolla alone is mostly responsible for this evolution. We're going to perform the first and second movements called Bordel 1900 and Café 1930. They convey the origins of the tango in the brothels and cafes of Buenos Aires in the early 1900s, where the tango was originally performed on solo guitar or as a duo with flute. This is the only composition for this combination of flute and guitar. Tim, do you have anything to add to that?
I think you did it beautifully, Doug.
Okay, well, we'll hand it over to Rob. And by the way, Rob, before you cut us off, we'll be mentioning Rob a lot in this evening's performance. And he is the magic behind the screen who's doing all the tech work and switching us back and forth. So a big thanks and shout out to Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah. I wanted to tell everybody that all these pieces that you're listening to were recorded in the past 2 weeks. And that one, just listening to that was done earlier on because it was one of the harder ones. And yeah, I'm reminiscing about the difficulty involved in
It's hard to play live on the spot, let alone to try and coordinate it this way, where it's a different kind of communication. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, in some ways, it makes it easier because when I'm playing with you, you play it exactly the same way every time. So yeah, it's just a matter of falling into the groove, into your groove, and getting it pieced together. So yeah. Anyway, moving on to the next couple of pieces are by a Brazilian Canadian composer, Celso Machado. Did I pronounce that right, Tim?
Yes.
Okay. He's a Brazilian-born guitarist and composer. He now lives in, I think, British Columbia, and combines his classical guitar background with the many styles of Brazilian rhythms and world music. The next two pieces are in the tradition of Brazilian instrumental and dance music, the samba and the choro. Although the choro means crying, most choros that I've encountered are very upbeat and virtuosic. But they usually always seem to be in a minor key with a lighter major key section in the middle, and then they return to the minor. And that's the case with this one called Choro Sem Lagrimas. And interestingly, the title means crying without tears. So, Tim, I had a question for you. Have you ever met or worked with Celso?
I've met Celso, and he is just the most beautiful man and so incredibly talented. Besides being a wonderful guitarist in his own right, and has written so much music for the guitar. Right. He's also a multi-instrumentalist. He does amazing percussion. He does voice percussion. He actually, in his concerts, he gets the audience involved and actually creates the sound of a rainforest by having people in the audience perform all these different tasks that come together. It's magical.
Yeah.
He's a magical guy.
Mm-hmm. Well, he seems to have created quite a large output of compositions, and I hope he continues to publish. So I think Rob, you can hit play. Aha. Yeah, I wanted to, I mentioned in listening to that again, you listeners out there may have noticed that Tim does the odd little percussion thing with his guitar, like he hits it, or there was a few times in the recordings we couldn't figure out how to actually stay together. So Tim added a little percussion before we started, or in a bar rest or somewhere, so I could sync up. And yes, it happened in that last number we listened to.
Yeah, and I should also mention that guitarists out there, or flute players who are really familiar with the piazzolla, you probably noticed that there was a little extra percussion added in the first movement of that.
That's
just as a way of providing some synchronization for the two of us.
Yeah. In fact, I saw a comment from one of our listeners saying, "Oh, you added something there." So they're obviously very familiar with the piece. So anyway, we're going to end the program with Libertango. And
we've got some Brazilian music first.
Oh, yes.
Did you forget about those ones?
Forgot about those. Where are we?
I'll tell everybody about these next Brazilian pieces.
Okay, you can talk about that, and I will wait for Libertango.
Okay. So a new musical art form was actually taking shape in Brazil in the late 50s and the 1960s through the fusion of samba, which we just heard some of, and jazz. And this new musical wave became known as bossa nova. So here we represent two of bossa nova's most important composers, Antonio Carlos Jobim and Luis Bonfá. Now, both composers were actually guitarists, and especially for the classical guitarists out there, interesting to know that Bonfá actually studied classical guitar very seriously in his youth with the great master Isaias Savio. So here are my own quartet arrangements of three of the very famous bossa nova tunes. Wait a minute, quartet arrangements?
Quartet, yeah.
Quartet arrangements? Well, I think it's time now, Doug, for you and I to introduce the audience to a couple of our very close friends who we know almost as well as we know ourselves.
One of them I don't really want to know, a twin of mine, but anyway, yeah, I don't know how I could have forgotten about these, but yeah, these pieces both involve, not only do they involve very low flutes, they both have bass flute in them, which Tim insisted that I play in here. And yeah, bass flute is, the reason you don't hear it so much is because it doesn't have much ability to carry. There's not much of a tap when you start each note, and it also weighs a ton. So holding it up for even 3 minutes is a challenge. But
it has a character that can't be met.
Yeah, it has a dark, woofy character, and if you want that. So I forget which one is which, but I'm playing alto flute as well as bass flute in the Corcovado, and then regular flute and bass flute in Wave, I believe, as I remember. Yeah. Okay. So
here's three tunes by Jobim and Bonfá.
Yeah. Enjoy. Hmm. Yeah, and here we are back. So,
Hey, Doug, something I forgot to mention that I should about Corcovado, actually, was there's a nice local Niagara connection, St. Catharines connection to that piece, because it was co-written with Antonio Carlos Jobim and a guy who grew up in St. Catharines and actually went to the same high school that I went to, the St. Catharines Collegiate, by the name of Gene Lees, who was a huge name in jazz, wrote a lot of books about jazz, collaborated with a lot of jazz musicians. So a nice Niagara connection there.
wow, that's where that you always see that name tagged on to Jomim's name, but yeah, it's sort of an unknown. So wow, that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So we have one last piece on the program, and that is another Astor Piazzolla, going back to Piazzolla, and it's called Libertango, which is kind of a combination of liberty and tango, and Piazzolla trying to describe the liberation of the tango, which was his sort of lifetime wish. And if you were to say that Piazzolla had a greatest hit, this would probably be it. It was first published and recorded in 1974. And since then, it has been covered, apparently, according to Wikipedia, at least 500 times. Everyone from Yo-Yo Ma to, anyone who has done any kind of pop or classical, they've all done a cover of Libertango. And apparently somebody wrote lyrics to it in 1990. So I don't know if you can add anything more to that. This is another recording where we had 4 parts to figure out. And Tim wanted baritone saxophone, and then he said, well, okay, how about tenor saxophone? And I kind of tried it, and so finally we settled on alto. So I'm playing flute and alto, as I recall, on this one.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if I need to add anything more to that about this piece, but what I would definitely like to do is you, the audience, I'd like you to stick around, and if you have any questions or comments, or you want to just say you liked it or you didn't like it, stick around after Libertango, and we'll do the best to answer your questions. And we look forward to seeing you, and thank you for being here.
Thanks so much, everybody.
Okay, so Rob, Libertango.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Bravo.
It's a lot of pressure playing like that.
You guys sounded awesome.
Yeah, I was absolutely blown away by what you put together for us this evening. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
It was wonderful. Well, we've had a few questions come in, so I have been keeping track. There are a lot of, I'm seeing comments coming in as I speak saying, bravo, more, thank you, wonderful arrangement. So we've had lots of fans in the audience this evening for you two gentlemen and your beautiful work. How did you come up with the repertoire for this evening?
Well,
it's really a collection of things that we've been playing over the years. Some of the arrangements have been around for a long time, and of course, also pieces that were not arranged for this evening that are just part of the standard repertoire for the flute and the guitar.
Was some of it planned for your concert in June, or is this completely different?
I think some of the arrangements, yes, were planned, but I think that the deciding factor was what could work in terms of recording in two separate locations. So we had to find stuff that wouldn't be too difficult. Now there were a few pretty hard ones in there, like the Libertango was actually the only composition where we had to use a click track to stay together because it's so rhythmically complex.
Yeah, everything else was just done real, free form, and I just tried to kind of act like a conductor and sort of shape the phrases and hopefully leave Doug enough room and enough space to be expressive.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention that. Tim, in the last tune, you were hitting your guitar with that was a chopstick.
Yes, it was definitely a chopstick to get a percussive attack on the string.
Yeah. Well, that it worked great. It was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Cool, Annie. I had a question come in over to me, and that was something I don't know actually. When was the first time you guys performed together? How long have you been working together?
Wow. Tim, maybe you have a better memory than I do, but
I don't remember when it was. But it was a long time ago.
It's got to be. It's got to be in the 15 years ago range, at least.
Maybe
20.
Wow.
In Niagara? Did you meet in Niagara?
Yeah, probably at a wedding or something, right?
A wedding gig. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's probably what it was.
Yeah, some of this music was actually arranged for weddings.
Mm-hmm.
The Morricone pieces. Yeah, actually, I should a little shout out to a guy who was actually performed at the Performing Arts Center, James Bryan McCollum, and those arrangements were actually written for his wedding. So thank you, James.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question for you, Tim. In the Libertango bottom right corner screen, what were you using to play with your right hand? I only saw a white stick. Oh, is this the chopstick that we're referring to? Okay.
That was the chopstick. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. There's your response, Ethan, to that one. I'm not sure if there's any other questions. I was wondering how have you enjoyed your first virtual experience?
Well, it's been a huge learning curve. For me, I'm familiar with recording, and I have a bit of background in recording engineering, so that was fun for me. But the not fun part was trying to learn how to edit the movies, and that was really cumbersome, and I still haven't a clue what I was doing. So that's a big learning curve for me, and it was a source of a lot of frustration. But on the whole, it was it was a big endeavor, and certainly rewarding.
It worked very well. The syncing between the sound and the video, I thought, was excellent.
Yeah.
It was,
Well,
it was incredible.
Yeah.
I've been seeing and been a part of many live stream experiences,
Yeah.
and it was probably some of the best presentation I've seen. So you did a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, like making music is all about collaborating. That's, you know, that's really what it is. And this is just, it's a new kind of collaboration. It's not the same, it's different. And, you know, and it's new, but it is, you know, it really has been an incredible collaboration, this whole process, working with Doug in a brand new way, but still making music.
Yeah.
Well, we look forward to the next time that we can actually all physically be together enjoying your music at a Gallery Players of Niagara performance.
Yeah.
I hope that is sooner than later.
Me too. Thank you so much, Annie, for inviting us, and to the Performing Arts Center for hosting this evening.
Yes, thank you all very, very much. It was truly enjoyable and uplifting for me personally. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks to everybody who joined us.
Yeah. Thanks to our audience for tuning in.
Yes, I will say we've had a busy audience here, so do take some time to look through the comments. You've had lots of adoring fans joining us from Facebook and YouTube tonight. So
Okay.
Thanks.
Great.
Thank you all again.
Thank you.
Be well. And now it's just me again. Here I am. Yes, thank you again to Gallery Players of Niagara. That was incredible what Timothy and Doug put together for us this evening with Margaret. And so thank you again. And this Sunday, please join us at 7 p.m. We're going to have our second live from Partridge Hall Niagara Performs. And this will be, again, the second time that we'll be back in our beautiful hall, and we'll be sharing music from Katie Gotta. She is fiercely talented singer-songwriter. She weaves melodies that leave you feeling like you're caught in the crosswind of a gentle breeze in a wailing gale. I could use a bit of that right now. Sometimes her sweet, sultry voice has been described as reminiscent of Norah Jones and Joni Mitchell. She's a fabulous singer-songwriter. So we're very much looking forward to Katie's performance, 7 p.m. on Sunday night. You can find us here at these coordinates. And that's it for me. And that's also it for my colleague, Rob, who's been behind the scenes taking care of us this evening. On behalf of myself and Rob and the team at the Performing Arts Center, we thank you kindly for tuning in. Take care of yourselves, stay cool, and goodbye for now. We'll see you soon.